What's going on? How's everybody doing out there on this wonderful day? So we're down in the shop, pulled out a really awesome mold. I don't think I've ever had this mold on my channel, and it's a darn shame that I have not. This is the 6-inch Epic Sucker. It's a collaboration with Marlon Bates and Epic. If I'm not mistaken, this might have been their first collaboration. This might have been the start of their partnership. I remember watching some awesome videos from Marlon Bates, and he carved an awesome wooden boot tail sucker, and then he did silicone, a silicone mold for it, and he used plastisol. It made some really cool baits. And then of course Epic took his idea, or he gave them their idea, however it works, stuff like that, and they came up with this really sweet looking pour mold. So like I was saying, this is my very first pour mold. This is the mold that I learned how to do pour molds. This is where I made my mistakes. As you can see, the bottom is really wore out where I've scratched this across the top of my hot plate. I made all the mistakes. My mold was too cold, it was too hot, my colors blended, they didn't blend together right, I had cold cracking. I did all my mistakes on this, and of course I still make mistakes today. I don't consider myself a really good bait maker yet, but every time that I do practice on my pour molds, I strive to get better and better and better. So let's take a look at the mold. So it's a really cool mold. As you can see, it's upside down. So you pour your head color first, and then you pour your bottom color last. So if I flip this over, you can actually see the cool shape of the sucker there and stuff like that. And I believe the reason they did this is because they wanted a nice flat surface, because of course suckers live at the bottom of rivers and stuff like that. So it also has a hook slot in right there. So yes, very, very cool mold. I thought for our first color today, I thought let's pour a Hognose Sucker color. So we have Hognose Suckers here in West Virginia. I see them all the time in rivers and streams where I go fishing. I've never caught one on a rod and reel. I don't know what people use. I've actually seen online where people actually catch these. And leave me a comment down below. What kind of bait do you use to catch a Hognose Sucker? Like I said, they're bottom feeders, so I guess it's some kind of algae you would have to use and stuff like that. I'm sure maybe a trout egg maybe might work or something like that. I don't know. But I actually see them, and they get really big, and they're really, really cool. And every time I see one, I always think it's some other kind of fish, like a trout or a bass, and then it turns out it's a Hognose Sucker, just doing its thing going up and down the stream. But their color is interesting. So I went online, looked up a bunch of different Hognose Suckers. They're like a brownish kind of gold top and like a pearl white bottom. And bluegill have the vertical lines going up and down. Bass have the horizontal lines going from head to tail and stuff like that. These ones have the up and down lines, but they're not like straight up and down. They're almost at like an angle. And what's really cool is like none of them have like the same pattern. Some of them I saw like a bunch of them. Some of them I saw maybe one. Some of them I saw maybe 2, 3 or something like that. So we'll come up with some kind of pattern that kind of mimics a Hognose Sucker. So I'm gonna get the plastisol out, and we're gonna start making this Hognose Sucker. All right, we got our plastic nice and hot. I'm gonna show you how I do these. So I'm gonna go back to the tail. I'm trying not to get up in those fins. And I'm just going to dump it out. Just like that. That gives us our canvas to do some detailing on. Also, I got all the spots on there. So what I mixed in the clear was 3 kinds of black. I got medium, small, and I got the whisker glitter in there. So as you can see it right there. This one is already done, as you can see. And then I'll show you the easiest way to clean this up. So I'm going to get my gloves off because that one's cooled down enough where I can touch it. So all you do is you just sit there and you push your thumb against the edge of the mold. It makes a nice clean straight line. Then on the bottom it's very easy. You just gotta watch the fin on this thing. It gets a little pain in the butt with the fin. I put my thumb there and I just kind of pull it off. There we go. And I'll come back with a heat gun and get that adhered to the fin. Same thing, put my thumb down there, just kind of pinch it off. And there we go. We have a clean mold there. I'm going to hit it with the heat gun because you see that air bubble right there. I put the heat gun on there. There's also one right there. It'll fix that. All right, everybody. So I took a heat gun and got our capsule nice and adhered to the mold. I got some raw umber and I got some black. The black is for the lines. And we're just going to put some of this raw umber at the very top. Kind of spackle it around a little bit. So I'm going to go right here at the head. Need a little bit more. I'm going to go all the way down. There, see, look at that. A little bit of detailing at the top there. And then we're going to take our brush for the other one and we're going to make our lateral line, or our vertical lines. So it's kind of weird. They're kind of shaped like a triangle, but they're kind of like an angle. So we're just going to go like this. This is a hard mold to do this with. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to do one here. Bring it down. Do one here. Bring it down. And then we're going to do one here on the back. Something like that. And then of course I want to make sure my other one matches. I was practicing on it. I got to do one more on the back here. There we go. That'll work. So there's the first one I was practicing with. There's the raw umber on the top there. And then here's the one we just did. Now, of course, if you get a little bit of paint on your mold, once you're done with your mold and you pour your bait up, you can take a little bit of hot water and soap and clean that right up. Or you pretty much can wipe it off with a rag, because all this paint I use is water-based that I got from Lure Works. So, all right, we're going to let them dry for a little bit. Then we're going to start making our top color. All right, we are working on our top color here. So this is 13 drops of this MF mayfly, or brown mayfly, which has like a golden kind of background to it, but this is still pretty thin. So we're going to start dropping a couple drops. Maybe we're going to start with one of this regular brown from Dead On Plastic. We don't want it to be too dark, because if you go too dark you won't be able to see your detail. I'm going to do one more. There we go. And then we're going to do the drizzle test and see how that looks. Okay, that's pretty thin still. Okay, so I think I'm going to do about 4 more drops of the mayfly. I definitely want that golden background to it. Okay, I think I'm going to do 2 drops of brown. Let's see where this gets us. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yes. Of course, our bait's going to be a lot more thicker than this drizzle test. That's pretty good. Yeah, we're going to leave it like that. We're going to go with that. All right, let's make the belly color next. All right, we are mixing up our belly color right now. I did 15 drops of this iridescent pearl from MF. I know we had this out last week for the blunt nose minnow, but I really am digging this belly color. And of course, we're going to take a couple drops of white. We're going to start with one first. I already pre-shook these up, so they're good to go. We're going to go one more on that one. Got one on the table there. That should do it. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. All right, we're going to get this back on the hot plate, or get these on the hot plate. So these are dried up right now. Let them sit for a little bit, let that paint dry on there. We're going to close the mold, put it on the hot plate, get up the temperature, start pouring our epic sucker. All right, let's pour this bottom color, which is technically our top color. So we're going in nice and slow. Filling up the head. I want that to run nice and slow to the tail. Yep, there it goes. All right, we're going to leave it right there. And then we're going to have a nice, good looking brown body. It's going to run down in the tail a little bit, but hopefully not all the way to the tail. And then we'll have a white tail on this base. So, All right, let's heat up the belly color. All right, let's bring in this belly color and let's top this baby off. So I poured that one up to the fins. We'll go back and forth, get those fins. Oh, I'm a little shaky today. Haven't poured baits for a while. Get that tail up there. Bring it back. Man, I am shaking. Let me bring my other hand in here. Alright, there we go. Phew. A little shaky there on that one, but we're going to let that cook for a little bit, and then we'll pop it open and take a look at it. Well, it's going to take a while for it to cool down too. So, alright everybody, while our Hognose Sucker is cooling down, let's go ahead and make the next two colors for our next bait. So, this past week I was down in the shop, I was playing around, and I did an Instagram post where I made these. This is the holiday mold from Epic Bait Molds, and it's kind of like a morning dawn color, but it's like a capsule pour and stuff like that. Came out looking pretty sweet, but I want to do an Epic Sucker in this bright color. So what I got here is I got the dawn color from Dead On Plastics. I got 20 drops in it. I want to go ahead and put some of this Sonic in it from 8-Bit Baits. We're going to do a 1/64 of a teaspoon. Just like that. Just enough. Just enough to give it a little bit of flair. And we're going to mix that in. And this should give us a little bit of blue background. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'm actually going to add another 1/64. So let me clean this spoon off. There we go. That looks pretty sweet. I like that. We're going to do another 1/64. So a total of 1/32 teaspoon and a half a cup of plastisol. All the recipes today are in a half cup of plastisol, and all of them are in swim bait, jerk bait from Dead On Plastic, if you're curious there. So let's go ahead and mix this in there. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's a cool color. And then I'm going to do a 1/32 teaspoon of some 015 black flake. We're going to dirty up the tail a little bit for our next sucker. Not heaving at all, nice and level. Yep. And the reason I use smaller flake, so a lot of us bait makers, we use this smaller flake when we're doing like pour baits, is because if you use anything bigger, you have the other bigger flake has a tendency to sink to the bottom of your mold, and it's really hard to keep from like 0.25 up from sinking. But 0.15 and smaller than that would be 0.08 seems to stay in place pretty good. So right there's our color. Check that out. And that's why on this Hognose Sucker I wanted 3 different kinds of glitter in it, and I went ahead and did a capsule pour, you know what I mean, and that glitter will stay in place. So alright, let's go ahead and cook up our top color. Alright, we're making our top color here, so we put 15 drops of that black grape, and that color by itself is perfect, but we are going to put a 1/32 teaspoon of this Lure Works violet highlight. Yep, that'll work. This is really going to make this color pop. Mix that in there really good. Oh yeah. Look at that. Not all the way mixed in yet, but it's becoming a color. Heck yeah. And then we're going to take our 1/64s here, and we're going to do a scoop of this Joker from 8-Bit Baits. See what that does to this purple. Oh yeah. Scrape the sides. Put that back over there. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. And now we're going to do a 1/16 teaspoon of small purple. Not heaving at all. Okay. And then we're going to do a 1/16 of the 015 fuchsia. So kind of complement that dawn on the tail. Oh, get that closed up there. Here we go. And this is really going to be a cool color. Look at that. That's cool. I like that. Can you see it? That's cool. I'll take it. All right, we got to let this cool down for a while. Well, I mean, what I mean by that is our mold is still pretty hot, so it's going to be a while before we make our cool sucker in this kind of a morning dawn color, but yeah, should be pretty sweet. All right, everybody, let's take a look at our Hognose Sucker and see how she came out. It is cool to the touch. So you're going to push on the top of this a little bit, kind of spread it out. Get that tail out of there. Oh, I see it. I'm peeking at it. Oh, yeah. Let me fix it real fast in the mold here. Check that out. That looks pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Detail came out looking pretty sweet. A little bit of white on the belly, but a nice white belly with a white tail. Oh, yeah. I am digging that. That looks pretty sweet. Yes. See the detail in there? See like a little bit of the gold in there? And of course our capsule pour. Sorry about that. Nice white tail. Oh yeah, I'm digging that. Let's put that like this. Check that out. Oh yeah. Pretty sweet. I'm excited about that. Alright, let's pour this one now. Let's pour our Morning Dawn. And then when I get done with this one, I'll put eyes on both of them. Alright everybody, so before we get started pouring our sucker here, I made a little adjustment on the purple here. I put 2 drops of Dead On Plastics Black, and the reason I did that is I was doing a capsule pour on the head here, because I'm going to do this bait more 50-50, you know, because on the sucker I almost went up to the fins here, but I'm going to kind of probably stay that purple kind of in the middle here. I definitely want the dawn to be the whole tail, but I didn't want that 50-50 split to be in the head, so I did a capsule pour, and the head should be completely purple, and then it should start right behind this gill plate to be 50-50, and that's why I did that. So we're going to get this closed up, get it heated up, put it on the hot plate. We're going to start pouring this crazy color Epic Sucker. Alright everybody, so I already poured the bait. I didn't want to bore you with another long pour because this does take a second to pour, especially when you're trying to do 2 colors and feed it towards the tail but not into the tail. But there's our dawn. It's all laid down. Of course I got the purple down there at the bottom, which is technically the top. So we're going to let this cook for a little bit, and then we're going to let it cool down for a while, and then we'll take a good look at it, see how it looks. Alright everybody, who's ready to take a look at our Morning Dawn Epic Sucker here? So before we do that, look at all the stuff I used to make 2 baits. Now of course I have plenty of leftover and I can make more of these in the future or use those leftovers for other baits, but still, I mean, I used a lot of stuff just to make these 2 cool looking Epic Suckers. So let's take a look inside here and see how this one turned out. So come in on this side, holding on good on. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Woo, that is awesome looking. I like that. And if you look closer, you can see our black flake is suspended in it because I used a smaller black flake. Let's take that out of there and take a good look at it. Wow, yeah, adding that extra black to the purple really made that look awesome. So let's see if I can present it better than that. Look at that. Oh yeah, let's put it on top of the mold. It looks better like that. So you see how the purple ran just a little bit down in the tail? Yeah, that looks awesome. Cool. All right, let me get some eyes out and pick some eyes for this one and our Hognose Sucker, and I'll show you. All right, everybody, as you can see, we got eyes on our suckers here. Someone with a traditional red on the Morning Dawn. I think it kind of makes it pop. Look how our glitter stayed all suspended through our bait. Like I was saying, use the smaller glitter if you want your glitter to stay. But yeah, that looks pretty sweet. I am digging that. And we flip this around to our Hognose. Hognose have like a goldish eye. I think I picked the right one there. It's the one I had close enough to it. So our Hognose Sucker looks pretty sweet. One imperfection, the back fin here did not go completely to the end of the mold there, but I believe that'll still work. So, all right, I'm gonna grab these and actually show them to you. But look at that color in there. Wow, that purple is awesome. Look at that. Our tail, a little bit of that Sonic in there, and of course our Hognose Sucker. Oh yeah, I am digging that. So put the camera a little closer. Thought you guys might like to see it. So all right, those are awesome. All right, everybody, I appreciate you watching this video. And did you like our epic suckers? Did we pick the right colors for it? I'll let you be the judge of that. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me which one was your favorite. Also, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind giving it a like and sharing this video, I sure would appreciate that too. But I believe that's going to do it for this one. But before we go, let's take a look at these baits.